Plunging economies and rising unemployment. These two factors, say workers' rights groups, have fueled discrimination against migrant workers across Asia. And nowhere has that been more pronounced than in Malaysia, where foreigners make up a fifth of the workforce. In late 2002, Kuala Lumpur began deporting thousands of migrants working in the country illegally. But the decision has had severe repercussions on the economy. And as Susan Yu reports, the government has now been forced to rethink its controversial move.
There are fewer dishes on offer here at the Sita Ram restaurant these days. The menu has been halved, while 6 employees, instead of the usual 25, help run this popular eatery in Kuala Lumpur. The restaurant says it's been struggling to find help ever since the government cracked down on illegal migrants late last year.
Without the foreign workers, the businessmen cannot do business. Must have foreign workers in Malaysia.
Krishna Kumar admits he had illegals on his payroll before Malaysia's tough migration laws went to effect last August. But now, employers who hire migrants unlawfully are subject to hefty fines and, like their illegal workers, face whippings and prison terms. It's a prospect that has prompted most employers to apply for proper work permits for their foreign workers. But some say it's a system that rarely works.
Our biggest problem is I already applied, they already rejected my application, and then I don't know why this government taking so long to process. See, they know we are in difficulty, all the businessmen are in difficulty.
There are about 2 million foreign workers in Malaysia. Most are from Indonesia, the Philippines, Bangladesh, India and Pakistan. About a quarter of those workers are here unlawfully, despite the country's tough anti-migrant measures.
The problem is they keep coming back. The reason why they come back is because Malaysia has become a magnet for employment. Given the situation in the Philippines, given the situation in Indonesia, there is a vast difference in terms of what they can earn in Malaysia.
Malaysia's campaign to crack down on its illegal immigration problem is a vicious cycle. Authorities are tasked with not only trying to net illegal migrants, but also employers who hire them. And to make their job even more difficult, they also have to fight corruption. Recently, there have been cases of Malaysian policemen involved in human trafficking, ferrying over illegal migrants from Indonesia and the Philippines. The growing number of corruption cases have led to cynicism about the government's continued clampdown on illegal workers and its promise to expedite work permits for migrants.
So one of the problem is money. Whenever we put application, they want money. We're willing to pay, but I don't know why they still not giving.
So corruption is a problem?
Yeah.
And Malaysia's immigration chief admits there's only so much that can be done to clean up the system.
Generally, immigration is, we don't allow or we don't condone such activities, but maybe there are cases where people, asking for copy money. That one we cannot verify. But if it is proven, we will take very stern action to the extent of even removing them from the department.
But human rights activists are skeptical, and they question the government's commitment to punish employers who exploit illegal workers.
We had a case of where a large group of, I think, about 50 workers were arrested over a raid. Now, they are arrested, they are taken to the police station, but the employer is not arrested. So what kind of enforcement is there?
Irene Fernandez is an outspoken human rights activist. She's involved in Malaysia's longest-running trial, in which the government has charged her of maliciously publishing false news after she revealed the plight of detained migrant workers in a report back in 1996. It was her concern group, Tanaganita, that tipped off the media about a controversial police raid in March that netted nearly 200 mostly legal Indian migrant workers. A number of them were information technology professionals with work permits. Some alleged they were beaten during their police interrogation. Although officials denied the allegations, the Malaysian government apologized to the Indian government for the incident. But some activists say incidents like that typify the way foreign workers are generally mistreated by the authorities.
We're breaking down because the police force has become totally arrogant and unaccountable. And this is in relation to what everyday migrant workers come and tell us of how money is demanded from them, even if they have documents.
Well, you know, I think Kuala Lumpur is in a dilemma. I mean, on the one hand, we are aware that things have gone out of hand over the years. There are pressures being exerted within our own boundaries on the need for government to take stern action. But on the other hand is how do you go about doing that?
It's a dilemma that plagues not just Malaysia, but the Asian region, as those from poorer nations search for a better life for themselves and for their families. Governments say they have geography working against them in their campaign to end human trafficking. And they maintain it's most pronounced in Southeast Asia, where borders are so porous and corruption so commonplace.
The Malaysian authorities and the Philippine authorities are going to be more vigilant on this matter, and I think an honest exchange of information and the proper surveillance and the proper cooperation between the two countries will ensure that the incidences of illegal migration will taper off.
Kuala Lumpur has eased its tough stance, now saying it will allow at least 20,000 foreign workers into the country to fill the employment vacuum in the service sector. That's good news for small businesses like the Sitaram, where up till now, the labor shortage has been a difficult situation to swallow.